Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. May I take your order? Starting out topic 12 today, line plots. This is one of our measurement and data sections where we're going to look at a specific type of graph called a line plot. And then we're going to use that to interpret range, mean, median, and mode, which are different kind of measurements taken from a set of data. So I'm just curious if anybody has heard of any of these words before. So what I would do right now if I was you is I would pause the screen and I would jot down what these words mean to you. So in any given data set, you can find a number of things, including these four important measurements. The range, if I start at the bottom, the range is the difference between the highest and lowest. So if you took the largest and the lowest piece of data and you subtracted them, you would get the range. The mode is the most popular. So if you had to make a choice about something, the mode would be the most popular choice people are making, right? What's your favorite pizza? Whatever pizza place people chose the most, that would be the mode. The median is the exact middle, right? 50% are lower and 50% are higher. So if I lined you guys up by height, shortest to tallest, the median would be the student that is exactly in the middle, right? I would pick off a short student, and then I would pick off a tall student, and I would pick off a short student, and then a tall student, until we were left with one student in the middle. That would be the median height. It's the exact middle. And then the mean is what most of us call average, right? And to find this average, right, you add up everything. You add up all the data, and then you divide by the entries. Okay? We're going to be calculating these things today based on some line plots. So here's some background information on line plots. A line plot shows data along a number line. Okay? An outlier is a number that's very, very different from the rest of the data. For example, you all are 9, 10, and 11. I am 100. My age is very different than the rest of yours. I am an outlier. If at any point any of this does not make sense to you, please stop the video and come and see me. But we're going to move into our first data set, which is based on cups of vinegar that were needed during a different lab experiment. So this table shows the different amounts of vinegar used in different experiments. Right? You'll notice that it ranges from about a half of a cup all the way up to 3 cups. Right? Here I took that table of data and I put it on a line plot, right? I put it on a number line where each X, or each dot in this case, right, represents one number in our data set. Right? For example, right, 1 1/4. That number was used 3 times. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3 instances of using 1 1/4 cup. Every time it appears in that table, it needs to appear on your number line. All right. A reminder that an outlier is any number that is different, right? It's very different from the rest. Based visually here, can you see if there are any outliers? If you said 3 cups of vinegar was an outlier, I would probably agree, right? There is a large gap here. There is a large gap here where there is no data, right? So that experiment where we needed 3 cups of vinegar, that was an outlier. All right, here we go. These are in your notes. I would invite you to follow along with us, right? So what is the range? A reminder that range was the highest minus the lowest. So that would be the most cups of vinegar, 3, minus the least cups of vinegar, 1/2. It is important to note when finding the range that you are only going to use numbers that have dots above them. So 3 is the largest number with a dot, 1/2 is the lowest number with a dot. So the range here is 2.5 cups. What is the mode? Again, mode is the most popular. And so if I look here at this data set, that would be the one with the most dots above it. Clearly, we can see that that is 1 because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dots, and none of the rest have anything close. So the mode here is 1 cup. The median is the middle. To find the middle, you can do it one of two ways. You can either arrange these numbers from least to greatest, right? I could start by writing out 1/2, 1/2, right? 3/4, 3/4, and so on. Or I can use the line plot here, and I can go cross off a low one, cross off a high one, cross off a low one, cross off a high one. Low, high, 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 until you're left with 1 left, and the median here is 1 cup. Right? That means the exact middle of this data set is 1 cup. Right. Now, finding the mean is probably the most challenging because what we need to do here is we need to add all of this data up and then divide by the number of entries that we have. So I'm going to try to do that in a systematic approach. 1/2, I have 2 of those, so that is equal to 1. 3/4, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. So over here I'm going to do a little bit of math, right? 5 times 3/4 would give me 15/4. That would be 3 3/4. 3 3/4. 1, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That'll be 8. Right? 1 1/4, I had 3, so that's 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4. Again, if need be, go off to the side. Probably should have written this as an improper fraction. That would have been helpful, right? 1 1/4 can be written as 5/4. Right? If I double 1 1/2, I end up with 3, and then I come all the way out here where I also have 3. Okay. So now we got to add them all up, right? Remember that mean you add and then you divide. So I have 3, 6, 9, I'm going to ignore the fraction for a moment, plus 8 is 17, ignore the fraction, plus 3 is 20, plus 1 is 21, right? So then 21 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 for the fractions that I ignored gives me 21 6/4, gives me 22 2/4. All right, here we go. 22 2/4, or 22.5, right, divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, divided by 21. Okay. So I'm going to change the screen just down to give myself a little bit more room to work. When you're dividing with mixed numbers, recall that you have to make them be improper fractions. So 22 whole number times denominator times 4 is 88. Plus 2 gave me 90/4 divided by 21. We know we need to keep switch flip, so it will be 90/4 times 1 over 21. All right, here we go. We would have 90 over 84, which would equal 1 and 6 over 84. We're supposed to round to the nearest whole number. Our mean is 1. That's a ton of work for one problem. Again, typically, I think most students, range, no problem. Mode, no problem. Median becomes no problem. Mean is the one that, I'm being honest, you're going to struggle with. So if you have some questions, let's come and see me. We can do some practice. But right now, what I want you to do is focus on the 12-1 practice buddy. And have a great day.